Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of saythatinfrench.com. This is take 2 on this how to form questions in French. I had tried it on Friday during my lunch hour, but it didn't work out. The sound quality was crap. So here's my second take on it. Hopefully it'll work well this time. I got my handy mic, I got my earphone monitor. I'm set to go. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's get started. So how to form questions in French. As we talked about in the previous video, 5 W's on how to form questions in French. The who is pronounced qui. What is pronounced quoi. Often you will find this as qu'est-ce que. And we'll see the est-ce que function or the formula a little bit later in the video. All right, so we have who, what, qui, quoi. Où for where. All right. Où. And then pourquoi for why. Pourquoi. Then we have quand. And finally we have comment. So once again, qui, quoi, où, pourquoi, quand, comment. So I propose maybe saving these in a little side note, a folder that you can save this for later, a handy notepad. You're going to be using this throughout your pursuit of French, throughout your whole life. So keep it handy. Memorize it if you can, right? And put it aside. And yeah, we'll just start that first. Okay, so the 3 forms of questions in French. We have inversion. We have est-ce que. So actually, inversion in French would be inversion. Est-ce que. Then we have intonation, which is really the rising of your voice or the falling of your voice. We have falling intonation or rising intonation. Intonation. So let's look at the first one, inversion, as the first of our triad of forms of questions in French. So let's start with où. If we start off with où, let's start with a sentence, nous allons au parc. Nous allons au parc, we're going. We are going. Nous allons au parc, to the park. So this can be replaced with where, right? We're going where? Nous allons où? Où? So the question will become, où allons-nous? Où allons-nous? You notice here I invert, so the inversion relates to the inversion of the pronoun nous, the verb allant. So you invert them, and in between you're going to put a hyphen in the center. Okay? And this au parc, the location will be simply replaced by where. Où allons-nous? Où allons-nous? Right? So if you put this to the whole table of pronouns to conjugate the verb, je vais, tu vas, il va, nous allons, vous allez, ils vont, which is the verb aller in the present tense. What you're going to do is invert this, and you're going to put où at the beginning. You're going to invert the order of pronoun verb, okay, and join them with a hyphen. Now, pay attention here with the où va-t-il. You're separating the a and the I with a T, simply because it wouldn't flow well to put où va-il. Où va-il? So long ago, the French decided to put a T to make it flow better. I don't know. I'm simply speculating on what happened. All right. So here, où allons-nous? Où allez-vous? Où vont-ils? Right? They're all separated by hyphens. Trait d'union. All right. So we're going to our second example. Comment, with the inversion, becomes nous allons au parc. Okay. So our first sentence, nous allons au parc. And then en auto, en voiture. En voiture. depending on what part of the world you are. Car could be en auto, en voiture, en car, in certain areas of francophone world. All right, so let's start. En auto is how, comment, and here again we inverted allons-nous, nous allons, allons-nous. We'll go over here. It becomes comment allons-nous au parc? Comment allons-nous au parc? Comment allons-nous au parc? Comment allons-nous au parc? And the answer would be nous allons au parc en voiture, en auto. Okay? Here it is, transferred to the table of conjugation. Je vais au parc, tu vas au parc, il, elle, on va au parc. And then here you see that on the right we have comment. And then that formula again, the inversion, vais-je. So you're starting to see a pattern here. Vais-je, vas-tu becomes vas-tu, tu vas. Right? Right, next one, quand. If you remember well, quand means when, right? So, nous allons au parc à 4 heures. À 4 heures at 4 o'clock is when. Quand allons-nous au parc? Quand allons-nous au parc? Again, nous allons, allons-nous, right? You notice that? Je vais au parc. Quand vais-je? Au parc. So here, vais-je. Vais-je. The S is silent. Vais-je. Vas-tu? Quand vas-tu au parc? Quand va-t-il? Quand va-t-elle? Quand va-t-on? Quand allons-nous? Quand allons-nous au parc? Quand allons-nous au parc? Quand allez-vous au parc? Quand vont-ils au parc? Right, so pronouncing that takes a little bit of practice. Vais-je. Almost like vegetable. Okay. Vas-tu? Va-t-elle? Allons-nous? Allez-vous? Vont-ils? Vont-elles? Okay. Moving on. Pourquoi? If you recall, pourquoi means, that's right, means why. So, nous allons au parc. Nous allons au parc. Why? To see the birds. Pour voir les oiseaux. Pour voir les oiseaux, to see the birds is a why. Why are we going to the park? Pourquoi allons-nous au parc? Again, allons-nous is the inversion of nous allons. Put that to the table. Pourquoi vais-je? Pourquoi vas-tu? Pourquoi? So you just put it right at the beginning. Moving on. Avec qui? Avec qui, if you remember, it means with whom. Okay, with who? Nous allons au parc avec nos amis. With our friends. With our friends. Avec nos amis. Avec nos amis. So the question becomes, avec qui allons-nous au parc? Avec qui allons-nous au parc? Same thing here. Allons-nous is the inversion of nous allons. Put that to the table. Again, a lot of repetition here. Avec qui, right? Instead of the previous comment. All you're simply doing is you're taking your question word expression, whether it be quand, comment, pourquoi, peu importe, whatever the case, and you just stick it right there at the beginning of your question. Then you make sure that you invert the order of your words in red here, and you're set to go. Tack on a question mark at the end. Good to go. So, we've covered inversion. Now it's time for est-ce que. Est-ce que. Now, est-ce que simply means, well, the verb est-ce que represents the verb être, to be. So if you put it here, où est-ce que, Où est-ce que means where is it that, I think that's the best way to say it. Where is it that we are going? So here, like, où est-ce que nous allons? If here, nous allons au parc, nous allons au parc. Where are we going? Where is it that we are going? Où est-ce que nous allons? So here, it's a little bit easier because what you're doing, nous allons stays the same. You're taking your query word, où, and then you're putting est-ce que in between. So you're taking this, putting it on the end, question query word here, and you're making a query sandwich around est-ce que. Où est-ce que? If it's why are we going to the park? Pourquoi est-ce que nous allons au parc? Okay, and we'll look at these. Put it to the table. Now, let's see how that works. Je vais stays the same. Où est-ce que? Où est-ce que je vais? Où est-ce que tu vas? Où est-ce qu'il va? Où est-ce que nous allons? Où est-ce que vous allez? Où est-ce qu'ils vont? Où est-ce qu'ils vont? Okay, I'll go a little bit slower. Où est-ce que je vais? Où est-ce que tu vas? Où est-ce qu'il va? Où est-ce qu'on va? Où est-ce que nous allons? Où est-ce que vous allez? Où est-ce qu'ils vont? Okay. Now, the intonation here is not particularly important because as soon as you say où, right, that query word that you put, whether it's où, quand, comment, pourquoi, automatically the listener should know that it's a question. All right. Comment? Comment is how. How is it that, okay? Nous allons au parc en auto, en voiture. Now it becomes comment est-ce que nous allons au parc? Comment est-ce que nous allons au parc? So nous allons au parc stays the same. Comment? Question mark at the end. Put the query word at the beginning. Comment est-ce que nous allons au parc? Comment est-ce que nous allons au parc? Put that in the table. I won't spend a whole much time on the tables anymore. I'm just going to put it right there. You can pause the video to analyze what's going on in the structure of the questions just for the sake of time. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next one. Quand. Quand est-ce que? When is it that we are, right? Nous allons au parc à 4 heures. We're going to the park at 4 o'clock. Quand est-ce que nous allons au parc? When is it that we are going to the park? Quand est-ce que nous allons au parc? Here's your table. Pause the video if you need to look at it in detail. Again, je vais stays the same. Quand, est-ce que, you create a sandwich around the word, the expression est-ce que, and then you put whatever complement of the verb is going to be, right? Je vais where, right? Okay. Pourquoi? Same thing. Nous allons au parc pour voir les oiseaux. That becomes pourquoi est-ce que nous allons au parc? Pourquoi est-ce que nous allons au parc? Okay. There's the table for you. All right. And go. Next word. Next question. Avec qui? If you remember, avec qui is with. That's right, yeah. Nous allons au parc avec nos amis. Avec nos amis, with our friends. Avec qui est-ce que nous allons au parc? Est-ce que nous, right? Est-ce que is there. You put avec qui to represent with whom. Avec qui est-ce que nous allons au parc? Avec qui est-ce que nous allons au parc? Great. There's your table to put it all down in front of you. Repetition is the key to success. When it comes to conjugation, first memorize the pronouns, then memorize the key expressions, conjugations with être and avoir, and then go from there. Je vais au parc. Avec qui? Avec qui est-ce que je vais au parc? All right. So we looked at inversion, we looked at est-ce que, and now probably the easiest to figure out and use is intonation. And let's look how this works. Où, if you remember, où is where, right? Nous allons au parc. You just replace the destination with where. And then you just go whoop, and you increase, it's a rising intonation. All right, so here's how it sounds. Nous allons où? Nous allons où? Nous allons où? Now, with the intonation approach to question formation, this is used mostly in informal situations. I wouldn't use this with, my teacher or with a stranger, for example, where I would use formal language. I would use more the inversion or est-ce que approach to question formation with them. As I say the oo with intonation, you'll probably detect a more informal tone because there's less energy going into the question, right? It's simply just rising the intonation. Nous allons où? Nous allons où? It's almost like in English saying, where are we going? Right? It's less formal. It has that kind of feeling to it. All right, so here's how it looks. Je vais, blah, blah, blah. Je vais où? Tu vas où? Il va où? Nous allons où? Vous allez où? Ils vont où? Okay. Comment? That becomes nous allons au parc comment? Nous allons au parc comment? There's your table to show you what it looks like. Je vais au parc comment? Tu vas au parc comment? Okay. And take a look at that in detail. You can pause the video. All right. Quand? Quand becomes nous allons au parc quand? Nous allons au parc quand? There's the table. Move that right along. Pourquoi means why. Same situation. Nous allons au parc pour voir les oiseaux. Nous allons au parc pourquoi? Nous allons au parc pourquoi? There's your table. Avec qui? Okay. Nous allons au parc avec nos amis, with our friends. Nous allons au parc avec qui? Nous allons au parc avec qui? There's your table. And here's a little bit quiz. Who represents what in French? Comment dit-on? Who? That's right. Qui? What? Quoi? Excellent. Where? Où? Bravo. Why? Pourquoi? Superbe. You're doing great. When? Quand? Excellent. How? Comment? Superbe. Excellent. Let's look at a few examples. Nous allons au parc. What would be a good word to put right in there? Où allons-nous? Excellent. Nous allons au parc en auto. How? Comment allons-nous au parc? Excellent. Nous allons au parc à 4 heures. Quand allons-nous au parc? You could also say, quand est-ce que nous allons au parc? Right. All right, thanks for watching. And for more videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's the red button on the bottom. If you want to be notified of any future videos, click on the bell. And anytime I post a video, you'll be notified by email. And for more helpful expressions to help you in French, please visit my website, saythatinfrench.com. This is Jean-Claude, wishing you a great weekend, and keep on studying. And until the next video, have a great day. Bye-bye.